Boom.
Okay, that was it. I think it needed a wee bit longer there at the end, just as the wind down. But there we go. We're back another Thursday. What does Thursdays mean? It means prizes off GFN, more games getting dropped, and we have another bumper week of games coming. And Barry, how are you on this magnificent day, which is Thursday?
I am good. The sun is shining. We've got 15 new games and some DLC to run through. So what better a way to kind of go through Thursday, eh?
Exactly. So we will kick this bad boy off. And we have 15 games on this GFN Thursday. And it's the game, one of the games is one I have been having a wee look at. But we'll start off with the DLC of the week. And it is Warhammer Vermintide 2 Chaos Wastes and the Lost Gods DLC for Immortals Phoenix Rising. And just remember, no matter where you are in the world, well, if you've got access to GFN, you do have access to Ubisoft Plus, so you can jump onto that, and you've actually got an absolutely massive amount of games you can play on Ubisoft Plus, and that will be included in it, this new DLC.
Yes, indeed. And I think it was quite an important one. I know we touched on it earlier, but I think it was quite important for them to kind of to get the new DLC relatively quickly. So I'm glad to see that it has snuck in there in this week's update.
Exactly. So it's good that what I'm actually surprised about, and again, for people who may watch us or may not watch us all the time, we call like good things, we call like bad things. I'm a little disappointed that the Immortals Phoenix Rising demo didn't come to GFN. It has went onto all the different platforms, and this was the demo which was available in Stadia initially. It is now being pushed out everywhere now. But again, that would be me nitpicking over this, that they didn't get the demo.
Do you know what? It's when we talk about the things where we talk about the good, we talk about the bad. It's worth pointing it out because you have to say that when we talk about the potential of demos in cloud and how easy it could be, it would have been so easy just to kind of drop that in there and give people at least a little bit of a teaser. Because if you know, let's say for argument's sake, you aren't subscribed to Ubisoft Plus and you have to go out and buy it, or you consider buying it, and GFN is one of your preferred ways to play, it would have been great to be able to kind of just jump into the demo. I know, I had time with the demo when it was out originally last year, and I really enjoyed it, and it was exactly what I needed. So yeah, I think it's definitely a missed trick in that respect.
Hopefully it will come maybe next week and whatnot. Maybe they were just caught off guard by it, but I think they are missing out the demo there, and it would have been a nice, easy thing to do. But they've got so many free games and demos anyway. I think it was just maybe worth mentioning because it is such a big one or big demo, and it is being released everywhere. So I think it was just worth mentioning that. And there it goes into the Chaos Waste of that Warhammer game, which I'm not going to butcher again. It's a free expansion, which is all that's my favorite word is free. But great to see that, and there's a bit more of that of Ash's Adventures. It's a new.
I was just going to say on that Warhammer Vermintide, 15 new locations seems like a fairly hefty kind of piece of DLC, if I'm honest.
It does. It does. That looks like a big proper. That's something you would probably pay for.
Yeah, it does. So the fact that it's free expansion, I am quite shocked by that. But nevertheless, as you said, everybody loves kind of free expansion on, on the games that you already have or you already own.
Exactly, and I think it will just reiterate this again. If you've got Ubisoft Plus, and everybody has got access to Ubisoft Plus wherever GFN is, basically, you can get into the next expansion by just popping the or subscribing there if you don't already have the game. So we will kick this off with the 15 games joining. Yes, I'm excited about this
I was
one.
going to say, Duncan, I know that Duncan's been excited to talk about this one, and you know.
Oh, we've got a live stream and everything going on here.
Yes.
We'll pause that bad boy. Or no, we'll watch this bad boy.
I think it's the dev playthrough, I think
Yeah.
they're showing it off.
Again, it looks pretty interesting for me there. It's a game which, as soon as I seen it at the beginning of the month, it's going, that looks very, very intriguing. It looks like something I would play. A bit of, there seems to be a mix of everything under the sun there. And I think that could be a Duncan playthrough game. Maybe even without me speaking or anything. But at that price, that's a good price of a game.
It is. It's a great price, you know, sitting at sub £10, and it does, you know, on it. I think when I first seen the trailer for this, and I think I said it earlier as well, I was kind of a little bit thrown by it. I was like, I'm not really sure. But the more and more I've kind of in the build up to it kind of being launched, the more I've seen about it and kind of that sort of stuff. I'm looking at it and thinking, do you know what? When we talk about little hidden gems, that could well be a little hidden gem of a game that people actually really enjoy.
It could be. Remember, we don't actually know too much about it. We just see what's going on here, and it has got me intrigued. 10 out of 10. There we go. Couldn't be more excited, PC Gamer. Well, it's got some reviews there. I am intrigued in this, and I may pick this up to have a look at it. And there's some of these wee funny reviews here.
Oh, you gotta love the wordplay, haven't you?
Yeah, but interesting. And let me see, it has achievements. It's got full controller support as well. Okay, let's see the achievements. Let's be nosy about the achievements.
Let's have a little poke around. Why not?
Oh, 15%. So it looks like it's a reasonably easy one to get full achievements on as well, if you're an achievement hunter. And I know we may have something about that coming out. Pushing that Barry under the bus. Yes, I'm intrigued to see how this will go. I think I'm going to get it. Don't tell Kelly.
We won't say a word. We won't say a word. Interestingly, and I just want to point this out because I know obviously the news broke of it kind of going into South America and Brazil. Yes. And I don't know if you noticed when you were scrolling up there, but that's Portuguese. One of the supported languages, Portuguese, Brazil.
Yeah, that's a real good shout in that one, and it will be one to keep an eye on going forward, especially with the new support going out there, as you say. So cool. I'm definitely excited about that one. And we will slowly move on to another Warhammer game.
I thought you'd clicked add to cart then before we even left the page.
Not as yet. I am majorly tempted for it, so it's all good fun. This one is a 2018 game. It's a RPG hack and slash. Yes, I'm a fan of hack and slash sort of games. It's not actually looking too bad.
No, it doesn't look too bad at all. Doesn't look too bad at all. Obviously, you know, a couple of years out, but it's one of these ones that I think, as we've said before in the past, you know, you often miss when games come out kind of so thick and fast nowadays. It's quite easy to kind of miss some of them, especially if they're not in your kind of like your normal or your favoured franchises. So it's good to have the opportunity to kind of go back and dive in, especially in the cloud as well.
Yeah, hey Charles, thanks for joining. Yeah, there's just so many games coming. We were actually chatting offline there about there's just the amount of games out there, and you just miss so many of these. And some of these good sort of games, or good looking sort of games, you just completely and utterly miss out on. And that's another one I'm intrigued about. The price, not at that price. I think it could be a sale.
Yep. I think you could easily see that maybe being, I don't know, maybe June summer sale, maybe see it half price or something similar.
Or maybe a bit more, but I'm intrigued. Oh, it's got trading cards, always good there, so you can get some money back if you don't get into trading cards. Full controller support, which is great if you want to play on your Shield TV. It's 76 achievements. Is it worth talking about this points shop thing? Apparently, I've got 10,000. I don't know if that's a lot or not.
I don't pass. I don't know. I mean, it's certainly on the at surface value. When you look at these, with kind of some of these, early ones there, kind of 500 points.
I think I need to start spending some. Is that what
I
we're
think
saying?
you probably do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there's all this for your backgrounds and all this sort of carry on, and you need to own the game and stuff like that. It's only got 67 in Metacritic, but it's getting mostly positive reviews. I think Metacritic, it's a guide. It's better actually going on the reviews of the game, and I'm going to go down here and it's going to be there we go, extremely underrated. And 86 hours played, so people are playing this. So this could be a good one.
And that other one illustrates your point about maybe waiting for a sale. That review in the top left, the guy saying he kind of picked it up with the DLC included for $20.
Yep. So maybe wait for a sale on this one. And as Charles said there as well, they're talking about Diablo-like as well. A bit slower than Diablo 3 and simpler than Path of Exile. I like the sound of that. I think that could be one for me to maybe keep an eye on.
Watch this space. Add it to the wish list. Add it to the wish list. Go on.
No. No. We have got Anno 2070 and they're all available on Steam down to £17. This is a 10-year-old game now. I would say wait for a sale on this one straight off just because of the age. It has got Steam trading cards, so you can get that back. And it's a building sort of
Anno
game.
2070 included in Ubisoft Plus?
I believe it is if you subscribe to them.
Yep.
Yes. So this is if you just want to buy it. Yep.
No, of course. Giving people as much choice as possible.
Are you a big fan of this type of game?
No, not really. It's not really kind of my bag. I mean, I think going back to kind of my younger years where I used to play SimCity, I can't remember, what was it, SimCity 2000, 3000, something like that.
There was 2000. I think there was a 3000 as well.
That was kind of that was the last time I sort of kind of dabbled in those types of games.
What we can see here, if you like the game, you may stick some hours into it, just to nearly 600 hours into it, and give it a negative review. And you've got 350 hours here of someone who just put the review up in April. So I think if you like city builders, you could get some value out for this, and I think there's a load of DLC for it as well. So what I would probably recommend, wait for a sale and go complete edition, because that would probably be better.
Yep.
And then we've got that was 2070, and then you've got 2205. So this would be a bit more futuristic.
Yeah.
And 2015 Blue Byte as well, and I think this is just more. This is nearly double the price. It's got a load of DLC as well.
Trading cards as well, like you said earlier on the other one.
If you want to get some of your money back, and 58 hours, 10. So I don't think this one is as great as the other one, but people are pinning it. But see, Max, you just double click on this wee bit here. It just zooms in. Ooh.
Have you got gesture control turned on your mouse?
Yes, so I can move it left and right. Yeah, but there we go. we've got more. Zero says he's singing the same song every week, but none of these games interest me. Really disappointed with GFN. My old potato PC can play these games native. Why use GFN? It is a fair point that games are only as good if you're going to play them, and that is why value is in the eye of the beholder. For a lot of these PC games, unfortunately, if you're not into city builders or strategic sort of games, that's where the PC is at home. It's only recently that we've started to see a bit more of these console sort of games go on to PC.
I think as well, a lot of the titles, especially when we talk about kind of platforms trying to kind of build up their library and their availability and kind of the variety of titles, I always kind of see it that they're kind of just trying to add, I don't want to use the words add value, but they're trying to kind of add variety that maybe fills a stopgap from a particular franchise that you will sink hundreds of hours into, or a particular new AAA, whereas they're kind of throwing in the little ones which give it a good bit of balance. Which one of the reasons kind of why I continue to subscribe to it, because there's some, whether it be free to play, your Epic games that you're claiming, and you're able to kind of play those in the cloud. You also do get some fantastic titles on there that just simply don't hit console. They don't hit anything else, and you've got the opportunity to kind of pick them up and kind of play them in this forum. I know you can, yes, you can download them, you can play them on your PC, but I think when you are in that ecosystem, it's kind of nice and easy just to go, well, actually I'll add that to my Steam library and I'll add it to my GFN library at the same time.
Yes. Speaking of Epic Game Store, Epic Game Store seems to be back. I wonder if there was just a bit of a delay of getting the games on board. Darksiders War Mastered Edition, and I'm going to tell you now, I love this game. I touched in this on our wee quick show. I played this back when gaming was brilliant and on my favorite platform and on live, and I can even go add more flavor to this. This is when I had a broken ankle and I couldn't leave the house and stuff. It was really bad, and I just sat down and played Darksiders, and that is the game which got me into hack and slash games. Absolutely brilliant game, and I own this. Did I pay for this?
No. Definitely not.
Nope, I didn't pay for this. This was an Epic free game. So every week I sort of say, remember to claim your Epic games because you don't know what will happen down the line. Here is one of the reasons. This game is an absolute brilliant game. People compare it to two games. Well, some people compare it to Zelda, other people compare it to like God of War. I'm more into God of War sort of thing. I think it's just more you just go around. I just use it as a God of War, just go bang, 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 and just go around killing people and slashing them. So I love this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Excellent. Darksiders is always a franchise that I kind of look at, I always consider, and I never know whether it's something I'm going to enjoy, whether it's something that's going to draw me in, and then I kind of, something always seems to come along that pulls me away from it. So I don't know, maybe it's one of these ones that I should succumb to and actually give it a try.
See, this is what got me into it. It was just there. It was like a $5 or something. It was some ridiculous amount of money. So I just said, F it, I'm just going to buy it just to see it, because I was humming and hawing a bit like you, and I just went and played it and just fell in love with it, and it was just brilliant. Being on the cloud service, you can just jump into it, and I think you'll know straight away is if you're going to like it or not. It is brilliant, so it is, and I can't talk highly enough of it. And I know some people may not appreciate, some slight spoilers may not appreciate the the context it has been set up in, because it's the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So that is war there, the next one's death, and Strife is Darksiders 3, and then you've got Darksiders Genesis, which is, Andy said, is on Game Pass at the moment, and which is a completely different sort of style of that. It's more like Diablo sort of thing, your 3/4 view, but this is a pure hack and slash game. And if you just want something to just go around and destroy, if you've had a bad day at work, which no one has a bad day at work, or people that are annoying you on Twitter or anything, or just annoying you full stop, it's a game you can just jump into and just slash away and just take your frustrations out there. And I thoroughly enjoy it, and I can't talk highly enough of it.
Excellent. Well, there we go. Check it out. Duncan, seal of approval.
Yes, I can talk positively about loads of stuff. The next one is a game I thought was a free game on Epic, but it wasn't, because this is basically a brand new game. So we'll skip over that bit earlier. This is Port Royale 4. It is, I'm sorry, Zero, it is going to be another building game. Again, I could see myself spend a ton of time into this and just have a absolute laugh on it.
Yeah, it was one. I think when I was looking through it, I kind of knew, because I know you're kind of throwing yourself into quite a bit to Sea of Thieves, and I just looked at it and I actually thought, you know what, it is something that you're going to throw yourself into 100%.
Yes, cool. But I'm looking. That for me is going to be a wait for a sale, and maybe a £10 off sort of thing. Hopefully, again with Epic. There's some.
I think how much is it at the minute? Oh, it's 45, isn't it? So
it's a full price sort of game.
Yeah,
it hasn't got great reviews, to be fair, but I would be willing to give that a go at the right price, and I think that's the thing for a lot of these games. The price of games is in your head, and I think every game has got a price, even if you're not a fan of the genre.
It does. You're so right. It's so easy, because you look at a game and how many times you actually say, "Yeah, I'm not going to buy it at that price," and then all of a sudden it drops, and then you're like, "Click, purchase, done. Thank you very much. I've added that to my library," purely because it's hit a price point where you personally think, I'm prepared to spend that in order to experience this game.
Exactly. So we will move on to our next one. And it is, it's another Ubisoft game. Ubisoft they just want to get their games out everywhere. Again, I'm telling you straight away, wait for a sale for this one. Even though it's cheap enough at £17, this game normally goes really, really cheap. I love some of the elements in this. Have you played this?
This one, no. I've played some of the ones previous to it.
Okay, spoilers. Some of the sections of the game are absolutely brilliant. I will call them like the boss levels, and you have to complete the level basically to the song which is getting played. And there's some cracking wee songs there, and you jump to the beats and more. Absolutely great. There's normal sort of platforming, but the musical sort of levels are absolutely spot on and really, really enjoyable. And yes, I'm tempted to do other games. I just don't have enough time to play all these games. But I really recommend, again, see, I can recommend games. I do play games. I really recommend this one, but I would maybe just wait for the price to come down a bit, wait for the sale, and you will pick up an absolute brilliant game. I'll just re-qualify this a bit more. If someone wants to buy that for the £17, $20 mark, it is worth that money. The reason why I'm saying wait for a sale is just because I've seen the price a lot lower than that. That is the only the only reason why. And yes, we've got a Barry 100.
It keeps cropping up. No, I mean, who doesn't love the Rayman franchise? It is a brilliant franchise. So you kind of, I think it's always the type of game you go into. You know what you're going to get from it. You know what your expectations are. So you kind of, when you go into it, you are going into it kind of with with your eyes open, and you're just going to get an absolutely brilliant experience from it and enjoyable. And for some reason, I don't know why I haven't got round to it yet, but hey.
Yeah, and as Sammy has also said here, this is available on Ubisoft Plus as well, and so you can pick that up and start playing all these Ubisoft games straight away on GFN. And again, with the DLC, which is just dropped for Immortals, plus the updates to Assassin's Creed as well, which are continuing to happen, Ubisoft Plus is remarkable value for money if you like Ubisoft games, and there is a lot of variety there.
Yes, it is. I think there's so many franchises when you look at, if you look at Division, look at Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, they're just some of the, kind of some of the more high profile ones that kind of people spring to mind. There's a tremendous amount of value in that subscription because the actual experiences you can have from within those games are brilliant. And I even missed out Watch Dogs, which is I definitely recommend playing through the latest installment of Watch Dogs, which is on the Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah, there's just so many brilliant games out there. And correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I'm pretty sure Watch Dogs Legion on GFN has ray tracing as well.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
So you get that added value as well, and it's available to everybody out there, which is great. So it's just, I can talk about GFN a hell of a lot here, and I think it is just gets really overlooked by a lot of people who we speak to, and just gets ignored. But the numbers speak for itself. Over 10 million people are on GFN now. The amount of games which get added each week, these 15 games, I know for the last couple of weeks we've been seeing like Zero said and other people that they're not liking the games, but the thing is they're just building out their library, and the more games there are, they're more likely to be games for you as well. So I think there's going to be 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row maybe that you're going to get no games, and there could be 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row and you just want every single game going.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the thing is that the nice thing that I think about that is, I mean, obviously no platform is kind of absolved of that, if that makes sense. That doesn't matter what platform you play on, you are going to find games that drop onto the platform that you just go, nah, they're not for me. And that is the nice thing. You can just skip it. you can concentrate on the ones that you actually want to pick up and kind of add on to your subscription, and make sure that you get the value that's important to you by picking the games that you want to play. And picking, of course, the place that you want to play them as well. Duncan's on mute again. He's done it.
I've done it. Yeah, options are always good, and I'm not going to advise people to keep X service or Y service, but I see the value for me personally in GFN because of the amount of games which are there, which are available for me to play. Also, with the amount of free games the free-to-play games on GFN, and also the amount of free games you can pick up the Epic Games Store, or games you can get really cheaply, like through the Humble Bundle, which I think is something we maybe need to talk about off our.
Yes.
Just this. Because I don't want to do it now because I'll be completely wrong. It's more like just to see how many of these games are actually on GFN now, because Humble Bundle, I think, is absolutely brilliant, and you can just start picking up your games on there as well. Yes, it's another subscription, but you can hop in and out of that, and you can pick up like 12 games for like $15, and there's usually bangers there. Like a couple of months ago, Control was on it, which is available on GFN, which I've now got Control on GFN for basically like £2 or something ridiculous like that. So
yeah, I thought I had good value on Control because I think I picked it up over winter with a £10 off in the kind of winter. So I think I paid like £10 for it, something like that.
Yeah.
So
it is brilliant. So it is. It's there's just so many ways you can pick up cheap games on PC, and this is not even including the so-called dodgy or slightly dubious ways. These are like proper game stores which you can actually get. So here ended the lesson on the cheapness of PC gaming and how GFN you can actually make your money back on GFN. Next game is Skyborn. And this is a older game again. It is. Don't worry about this product. It's not compatible with Mac OS. I'm on a Mac. I'm a heathen. I'm on a Mac. I love my Mac stuff. I love my Apple stuff. And GFM works absolutely brilliant on Macs. It is a JRPG. It looks like a JPRG maker game. It's got same achievements. It's got trading cards. It's got very positive reviews, and it's reasonably priced. Even if you like JRPGs, the old style Square games, I think you can give this a whirl.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of jumps out at you, doesn't it? That it's one of those types of games, and it's if that's your thing, you're going to kind of dive straight into it, and you're going to get real enjoyment out of it.
Yep, he does. Yeah, with this, I think if you like these games, you're going to pick this up.
Yep.
Next one is I like this game. Sorry, and
I knew you were going to go. I knew you were going to go there.
Well, go. I like this game.
Yeah, well, I knew you were going to say you were going to like it, and I knew you were going to go Torchlight because you liked it.
And it is another game which I have got for free on Epic Game Store. I have bought games on the Epic Game Store to be completely honest with you. I haven't bought a lot of games, but I have bought a couple of games. But I know the games I've bought. It's like Surviving the Aftermath I have bought on the Epic Games Store. But this one here, I really enjoy. Diablo-like, chill out, have some fun.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Likewise, I've got this in my library. I just haven't got around to playing it yet.
That's the thing. There's just so many games and so little time. I think we've you won't believe we want to get so much stuff out, but it's just like we need clones with everybody just to get it all out, just to get this going.
Absolutely. You know, I don't think there's a week or a day or even a conversation that kind of me and you seem to have off air where we kind of don't talk about an idea or something that we want to do, and then we just think, we just need some more time.
To answer our Irish Slav there, yes, we do. Every week at this time, we talk for about an hour on GFN stuff. We talk about the GFN post. We just go into detail what we think about it and just have basically a big old yarn over here about what we think about GFN and what's happening in the world of GFN. So come and join us.
Indeed.
The next game is an Irish Slav. We're actually going to be playing a game on Sunday, which is going to be on GFN, and we're going to be playing Among Us. If you want to jump in and play, you're more than welcome to. We have play-alongs every week. We're doing a GFN one this week, and we're playing Among Us, and that's on Sunday at 9 p.m. 9 p.m.
Yep.
9 p.m. UK. So you're 9 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. So there we go. Did I remember all that?
Yes, you did.
Ruben, yes, you are right. We need to talk less and play some more, but we are playing a load of games as well. The last game they're charged was Torchlight. I'm hoping you have picked that up on the Epic Game Store as well. Next one is Steam Worms Clan Wars, another Worms game from we've had a couple of these ones. So it's just added to the library, £19 sale. I hate saying that. Look at that. I would see that's going to be down to about 20 or 30 quid come Steam sale, so it is.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell, can't you?
Yeah. And again, it's a Worms game. I think people know Worms games. Go kill all the different worms and with all the different things in all different ways. Absolutely fun little game.
Indeed. And I think this one as well, I think when you were scrolling down, it's also got level builder in this one as well,
which adds more replayability. And I think we're 80. I love these ones. 80 are not recommended. I love these sort of ones. Yeah, so great. So we will move on to our next one, which is Yes, Your Grace.
Yes, indeed.
Which is on Epic Game Store, and it is coming soon. Or no, available coming soon, or like a bad nice. So is this just been out today then?
It must have been. Yeah, it must have been, because didn't we talk about it? I feel like we've spoken about Yes, Your Grace in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, it must be just
so
coming
it must be just out.
Yeah, so there you go, £16. You can pick that up, and it is getting mediocre sort of thing. I don't think it's a bad game, but I don't think it's a great game. I think it's just in the fun zone of being right in the middle, which could be wait for it's free at Epic. But again, if it's I'm pretty happy with that price point of £16. I'm comfortable with that sort of price point.
I think it's probably going to seem fairly reflective for the value that, or for what you're going to get back from the game at that kind of price point. I think you can comfortably kind of spend it and know that you'll probably get your money's worth from it. It's not going to be
it's not going to break the bank.
No, exactly.
We're coming on to the last game, and
which one's he going to pick?
It is a game. I'm leaving this to you.
Thanks.
No, there's no reason for that. This isn't a bad thing why I'm leaving this to you. Because you said you like to look at this game.
Oh yes, no, I did actually. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I kind of when I seen the trailer, there was 100%. There was something about this that kind of seemed, I don't know, the whole kind of survival horror aspect combined with the graphics and everything just seemed like it was something that was right up my street. Kind of a touch of nostalgia in kind of the way that it looks, and probably the way that it plays. But I watched the trailer, read about it, and it was one that I just kind of looked and I thought, yep, that certainly is kind of one that I wanted to pick up. And then obviously it's also on a publisher sale as well, so it's 50% off at the moment. So it's usually $14.99, sitting at $7.99 at the moment. So I think $7.99 is probably around about the $10 point, and obviously normal price $14.99, around about $20. And also, not only that, if you look at the reviews, it's overwhelmingly positive. So, clearly everything that they've done to capture it, from the story, the kind of the genre, everything, people seem to be having a lot of fun with it.
Which is great to see. And as you said, 50% off. I wonder if that's in with because it was coming to GFN, because we have been seeing a lot of that over the last couple of weeks and months. Is if games come to GFN, a lot of them seem to be on sale, and we've had that big publisher sale when they dropped all them Doodah games, the Stronghold.
Yes, Stronghold. It was.
The Stronghold franchise. There was a franchise sale on Steam, so you could pick them games up. I actually love how they're doing this. Or this may be a coincidence, but it seems to be happening a fair bit where games are coming onto GFN and they're having a sale around that time.
I'm really glad you touched on that, because I genuinely think that the way it certainly looks, or the perception that kind of we take from it, is that synergy with kind of each of the storefronts, publishers, developers. There does seem to be something there. So it kind of likes to think that there's a lot of work going into kind of nurturing those relationships, making sure that they've got good, strong bonds with each of the the locations, so that they can kind of say, well, actually, we can play it in the cloud, but it doesn't impact your platform. People can still be buying it. They're just going to kind of play it in the cloud on GFN, and that's something. If that is what they're doing, then that's, for me, that's a really positive thing and really pleasing to see, because absolutely, that's what you want. You want people that, if they're giving you a place to play, you want to make sure that they are kind of nourishing and nurturing those relationships to get the best out of them.
Indeed. Did we skip a game? Yes, we did.
We did. We missed out.
We missed out 2.
Yes, we did.
I'm a moonbeam. Someone needs to hit me with a stick or something to just make sure I don't do stupid things like that. She's sleeping. The first one is Cataclysm. That is another relatively new game. It's 26th of February. It has got mixed reviews, unfortunately. We were just talking about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And
yes, I know. Yeah. There's another one.
There's another one. This game doesn't actually look that bad, but looks can be deceiving. It's a card battler strategy RPG game. Good priced, £12. Look at that! I just find these funny. £418, so about $450 to $500 mark. This game looks, I think, could be a grower. If you know what I mean, I think this could improve a fair bit. We're already on our 3rd post-launch update.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you kind of look at it in that combination of kind of card game thrown in with RPG, it certainly does. You kind of read through it. It did sit as one of those games that it's kind of it. You have to get into it for it to then grow on you. So you might not initially read it and think, oh yeah, great, that sounds brilliant. It's something I want to play. But when you actually get into it, it's something that probably would kind of grab you, I think. Yeah,
this looks like a game for me. So there we go. I'm just going some M&M there. I've been listening to some M&M this week. So so this looks like a game for me. So everybody just follow me and all that sort of jazz. But yeah. Oh yeah, I'm on my unfunny half hour here, but yeah, that could be one for me at a later date. And the last game, which it's all yours.
I knew you were going to say that. You've actually missed 3 off this list, but hey, we'll come back to that in a minute. Yes. So this one, Chinese
Paladin, Sword
Chinese
and Fairy.
Paladin, Sword and Fairy. Yeah, obviously.
I have no problems with this, even the mixed review. Sorry, £4.
There you go. Nice big disclaimer saying English language is not supported. So they're kind of making that nice and clear that kind of you know what you're getting into. Obviously, a bit of an old game. Looking at the date of its original release, 20 years old. But nevertheless, that doesn't mean it's not something that you shouldn't experience. And at $3.99, if it's the kind of thing that's up your street, why not jump in, go for it, and see what you think.
I'm going to put this out here. I think there is a definite audience for this, and it is. I'm just going to say this. GFN are trying to take over the world, not take over the world, but they're trying to go worldwide. They're trying to get as many people in as possible, so they need a wide range of games. So I have absolutely zero problem with this game getting added. It is 100% not a game for me because I don't like. It's not. I thought it was a what's it called? A visual novel. It's not. It's an RPG. No problem with the RPG being added, and more games the better. It's filling out the library to just get everything sort of trying to appeal to as many people as possible. And I think that's what the GFN have been doing great. They're just trying to get as many games out there. And we're going to I think we're going to have, like we said earlier, we're going to have weeks where games may not actually appeal to you, but then you're going to have weeks where it's going to be you want absolutely everything off the list. So if they drop, like for me, I'm just trying to think of a game series which isn't on GFN. I'm pretty sure like the BioShock trilogy, if they drop.
I knew you were going to say BioShock.
Yes. Okay, I'm too predictable.
I started thinking, why is he thinking about it? I know he's going to say BioShock.
I'm just trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of another series that we play, but I've double checked this one. But BioShock, drop that, it would be brilliant. Or if they drop, is Batman on GFN? I'm not sure.
I don't think it is.
the Batman trilogy, or is it four games?
Yeah, the Arkham series games would be brilliant to have on GFN.
If they could do something like that, it would be brilliant to see that. But some people wouldn't like them games. They're more into the strategy games. So it is a balancing act. And I do think that they are mixing it up a bit, but I think we want to see a bit more of maybe some of the older classic sort of games going. And we do have a game which I'm going to pick up in GFN coming in the next couple of weeks in Hood. Outlaws and what's it called? Outlaw, I forget the full name, but it's Hood. That game just looks absolutely nuts, and I'm just wanting to pick that one up. So that is one game which we know is coming to GFN, which I am extremely excited about.
Yes, indeed.
What was the other game I missed off here?
Exanima.
I was just skipping all over the show. And this one,
I was just going to say this one I actually thought was really interesting because it looks obviously really dark. It's an RPG. But then when I was listening to the trailer, had my headset on, and the sound that goes with it, it sounds very atmospheric, like it's going to kind of completely draw you in and kind of put you in that place. Obviously, yes, early access by the looks of it. Does that say early access at the top?
Yes, I was going to come back to that. I'm going to ask your opinion on this bit of early access. It is early access, but it's been in early access by the look of it for 5 years or 6 years.
Yes. Yep.
What's your feelings in that?
It's an interesting one because there's, and I can't, for the life of me, I can't remember, but I think there was another one that we were talking about either last week's show or the week before. I don't know. It was. I can't remember. It might have been last week's actually, but there's a game that's been released that had been in early access for 5-6 years worth of development, and people who had kind of jumped in had really helped contribute, and the end result was quite a polished game. I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I think early access is kind of, for some people, it's a controversial point anyway, because it's kind of like, well, if it's not ready, don't let me play it. But then you've got the other side of the coin where actually you can contribute, you can jump in, you can actually hopefully help create something that turns out to be a better product. I guess it just depends which viewpoint you have on it. I'm not totally against early access. I'm not necessarily sure how keen I'd be on an early access game that's kind of been in early access for 6 years, but that's just a personal thing.
Early access, I have bought games in early access, and I would buy games in early access just depending on the game and how finished and how polished it is. Technically, Dyson Spear Program is a early access game, but that's pretty well made there. I'm just conflicted in early access. We've got a couple of games out there which are like really early access, and they're not even, you can't even complete the whole story sort of thing. That for me is a complete no-no. If it's a roguelike early access, there's a bit more options there, but I'm not a big fan of early access, but I know some people are, because people can jump in and they can actually change the game because of the feedback they give, and they can actually make the game better. This game does look interesting, but with this early access sort of tag, it's, when was the last update? Am I just stupid here? 6 months to 9 months to whatever.
Does that say originally how long it was going to be in early access?
Yes. Again, I think just buyer beware.
Yeah.
But it's not. Again, it is not a big price. So if this was a $40 or £40, $60 sort of game, I would put loads of caveats on it. But with it being £11, $15 mark, I'm not as concerned.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, Irish slaw here, slaw. I'm hungry. GFN is great going. My GPU died, and I could just jump in and start playing. That is why GFN has got its place in the market. This GFN is the home for PC gamers. That is what their niche. I think they're trying to get out from that niche. I think they're trying to expand out with the moves they're making, but that is definitely where their niche is. And because you can bring your library with you, or not your whole library, but vast amounts of your library with you, I think this is why GFN is in a pretty good place.
Yes, it is indeed. I would agree with that. And of course it's cloud, isn't it? So even if you are in a position where you predominantly PC game, let's say, it gives you the option, it gives you the ability to actually game in the cloud and kind of understand and see what it's all about, and kind of understand what kind of experience you can get, from playing your games in the cloud, which, I know so many people that have been dead against, they need hardware because cloud's not going to be good enough. And then they have an experience on a cloud platform, and they're like, actually, it's totally different to what my perception was. I didn't think it was going to be anything like that.
Exactly. I've said this, I think, off air, just chatting between ourselves. Over the last couple of weeks, even months, I have noticed a big increase in GFN's quality, and I think it is knocking it out from the park. And I think for me, I haven't had any queuing issues, which people have had, but sometimes the stream quality wasn't pin sharp. But for me, the last 3-4 weeks or so, even maybe into the last 2 months, I have noticed that the image quality has improved for me as well. Maybe I'm on the different data center, they've updated the data center or something along that lines, or I've been just getting lucky with the rigs. But the quality for me has been outstanding, and I could make the case that it's probably the best looking cloud service out there now. I know that would be a big call for people to make, but I'm having less issues with GFN than other ones now, and I think it's starting to look a bit better.
Yeah, definitely. I think the 1080 kind of ultra detail with, and the ability to kind of adjust the game settings, obviously RTX, DLSS as well. You've got a lot of options at your disposal. So what you can actually, when the supported titles, can offer it, you do have the ability to get an extremely good experience at kind of smooth gameplay, but also on a high fidelity level where the games are looking absolutely stunning, and you've got your ray traced titles to the max, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Again, I think we've talked about this weeks ago as well. My thing the one I want them to do is the backups into the cloud as well. So when they do the GFN, forget the actual terminology because I'm brilliant like that, where they take the screenshots when you're doing it if you're playing on PC. I want that stored somewhere in the cloud, so if I'm playing on the phone and whatnot, or I can actually get access to them as well, because I think they are a great piece of marketing for them as well, if there's some way to get them stored somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. The captures is something I think they should really kind of put a little bit of thought into and a little bit of work on, is to see if there's a way that you can get it kind of, you can get it out properly.
Exactly. So I think we will wrap this up here now, and I would just want to say thank you all for joining us. We're here every week at this time. We go between 6 to 7. We're trying to keep it about an hour, so that's 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Or 10 Pacific. 10 Pacific.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right.
It's making me do maths and stuff. But thank you all for joining. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And if you're in the Xbox, we're doing a bit of thing of Xbox in an hour's time as well. But GFN this Sunday, excuse me, we're playing Among Us, and we want people to join in because it is absolutely great crack. We will see you the next time, unless Barry wants to say anything.
No,